Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Melvin, and in this video, I'm going to show you guys a quick demonstration on how I like to use Google Calendar. So let's get right to it. First thing I want to show you guys is keyboard shortcuts, which is very simple. As you can see up here, you have day, week, month, 4-day agenda. Over here you have today. If you click on D, go to week. Go to day. W for week, M for month, 4A. And if you scroll down and you get lost somewhere, you don't know where you are, click on T, and you come right back to today. Alright, next thing I'm going to show you is how to create calendars. So I'll go here to my calendar, click on the drop down, create new calendar. I want to create a group calendar for all my friends to be able to see it. So come here, make this a public calendar. If you do that, everyone on Google will be able to see it. So I'll recommend not doing that. And then you can add all the email addresses of your friends who you want to be able to see it. So click on this guy. He's added, see details, and then you also want to make sure that you look at these options here. So I'll go back to calendar. Okay, so wait, I'm sorry. Create calendar. Give it a moment. And this calendar is not created. Go ahead and invite this guy. All right, so pretty much this group calendar that I created, anyone in this calendar, so anyone who I invite will not be able to see any other calendar besides the group calendar. Same thing for my personal calendar. Anyone who I invite to my personal calendar will not be able to see any other calendar that I have. So now that we created a group calendar, and I have two calendars and tasks, which I'm not going to cover, I'm going to go ahead and create an event. You have two options on how to do so. Click here to create this event, which I prefer not to do that way, or you can pretty much just click on any day you want. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the 18th, and I want to edit this event, because you can pretty much just create a quick one. Left click and delete. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to edit event. You have options here. You want it to be all day or not all, just for a specific time, and you want it to repeat. You can look at the options. It's pretty straightforward. So I'm going to leave it as an all day event, Virginia. The reason why I created the calendar first before creating the task or this event, so I can show you that once you have multiple calendars, you can click on which calendar to create it on. So I'll create it for group for this demonstration. You can invite guests. I'm gonna invite my dummy account, and yeah, it should be there. And down here, you can pretty much edit the privileges for all your guests. Description, color, you want to show you as available or busy, and then you have your privacy settings. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this. Send. So now this event is created on the 18th, and if you can see, the color matches my group. So that means that this calendar is currently saved to my group calendar. As you can see, the US holidays, it's right down here. Uncheck it. Check it. Same thing for group. If I just want to see my calendar, let's go ahead and do that. But if I decide, I want this on my personal calendar instead, go here, edit event, switch it over, created by this guy, save, and now it's on my calendar. If I decide I don't want it on Wednesday the 18th, I prefer it on the 21st, click, drag, and drop. Want to notify your guests? I'm not going to notify them. So you can pretty much drag this anywhere. If you decide, I don't like this event anymore, you always left click. Don't use right click here. So left click and delete. And I'm not going to notify the guests. So now this event has been deleted and your guests still think that they're going to it. Alright. So another interesting thing is you can have share calendars. And if you look right down here on other calendars, click over here and go to browse interesting calendars, which is share calendars. you can pretty much add a whole bunch of other interesting calendars, in my opinion. If you want to request um calendar from a friend, you click here and enter the email address, and this will send them a request that hey, I want to see your calendar, and they can either accept it or reject it. Interesting calendars. Open this up, and here you can see a bunch of different calendars. I'm gonna go to sports for this one, and I'm gonna go to football, NFL. Big Giants fan, so let's go ahead and subscribe to them. And let's go back to sports. Let's go to baseball, MLB. Alright, let's go ahead and subscribe to the Mets. So as you can see, now I have all these calendars here. I pretty much have the schedule for the Mets and the New York Giants. I'm gonna go back. Always want to use my calendar one. Go to settings. Actually, what am I talking about? Go back to interesting calendars, and I'm gonna go ahead and add the phases of the moon. I don't want day of the year, it's too many days. Week numbers, and I think I should be fine. Go back to calendar. Now I have all this stuff on there. If it gets a little bit too cluttered, like I showed you earlier, you could disable them. But if you decide you don't want these calendars anymore, I'm gonna go right up here to my calendar, go to settings, and since these are shared calendars, you do not own them, you will have to unsubscribe to them. So I'm gonna unsubscribe to the New York Mets. If you decided you didn't want the group calendar anymore, you can unsubscribe to it, but it will still exist for the people who you invited. So anything, remember, this is your stuff, my calendars, and this is other calendars is share stuff. So you will never be able to delete other calendars, but you can delete your calendars, the one that you created yourself. So go to group calendar, come down here, and permanently delete this calendar. Yes, and delete it for everyone. So now I get rid of that. If I decided, hey, I want to be able to get notifications for these football games, if you click on it here, you just get copy or more details. So let's go ahead and copy it to my calendar. Now, once you copy it, you'll be able to add reminders to it, pop-up or emails. So let's go ahead and create a pop-up 10 minutes and save it. See, so now you have a duplicate because one is on your personal calendar and the other one's on the share, which you cannot edit share calendars. So if I click on it over here to disable the Giants, I still have it on my personal calendar. If I decide I don't want this one anymore, or even move it, you can do so because this is on your personal calendar. I'm gonna go ahead and delete it. Right, so this is pretty much just the basics on how to use Gmail. It's a really fun, yeah, it's a really strong application from Google. Let me go ahead and show you. Let me request a friend's calendar. And bam, since it's my account, they gave me access to it. If I didn't want it anymore, go back to settings and go back to me and unsubscribe to it. So one last thing I want to show you is the settings. Click over here, go to settings. You can pretty much change these options up here. I'll let you go through that. The week, you can set it to which day you want it to start on. I prefer to have it on Sunday. You can actually disable it to show the weekends. So you want it to be like just like a work calendar. The default view, and I'll show you exactly what that means. When I go back to my calendars, it should come back to this, to week. Well, I prefer to look at it at month always. So it should be once you open your Google Calendar, it should default to whatever you have set. Since it's already open and I'm not closing it, that's why I didn't do that there. But let's go ahead and set it to month. The custom view, which you have down here, you can change that to how many days you want. Location, the weather, I use other applications for that, so I don't like to enable it on here. So events you decline. Alternate calendars, you want to add different one on there. Then you got display tips and enable keyboard shortcuts. Go to calendar, and this is where we edit stuff. Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and save it. This is where we edit stuff here. Mobile setup. If you have your phone, or even if you want to add your phone, you go ahead and do so from here. And this way you can set the option to receive text messages as well. Let's go ahead and go to labs. Here, this is pretty much like extensions or add-ins that you want to use for your Google Calendar. You can go ahead and review them. The two that I like, or maybe the one that I like really, is the year view. So I'm going to enable this one. I'm also going to enable background image. So the year view comes up over here. Whatever year you want to look up, just type it in there. 2013 is the default one. Hit go. And there you go. And then the other one that I enabled was for the background. Custom backgrounds. Once you enable it in labs, it will show up here. Calendar background. And you'll be able to choose an image and change the scaling of it. Alright, so yeah, that was my demonstration for Google Calendar. I hope you enjoyed the video and catch me on the next one. Alright, have a good one.